So this brings me to since you mentioned Jerry Boy's era, it brings me to like one of my topics. What's your Mount Rushmore top 5 fashion YouTubers, past, present, now, whatever?
Oh man, that's tough. Probably number one still, because I still watch him to this day, even though the style of clothing, he's more of a shoe tuber. He's not really like a fashion YouTuber. But this guy's Seth Fowler.
I watch his stuff sometimes. Yeah.
You know, when I started getting into like Yeezys and stuff like that, he was like one of the guys. You know what I mean? It was him, Bullet RC, and then Tony D2 Wild. I watched the three of them
before.
Like I used to watch those guys a lot, like in my first, like when I first started. But the reason why I'm putting Seth up there is because, like, first of all, he follows me on Instagram, like, which is fucking cool as hell. You know what I mean? So that's one.
Number one.
Yeah. Also, too, like I was one of the early adopters of his sock brand, Apothecary. So, like, if you look on, like, if you scroll down like their posts, you'll see a lot of pictures of me back in the day, because I was always posting, you know, fit pics with their socks and stuff like that. And I don't know, man, when you're that big of a successful person, but you still have time for some dude, you know what I mean, who's supporting your stuff, and you have you just have like the heart to be like, hey man, I love the fact that this guy's supporting this. He's proud of supporting us. I'm going to follow him. I'm going to engage with him, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I got to put him up there for sure. This is in no particular order, but him, definitely this is Antoine, and Corbin Coffee. He's another YouTuber. He doesn't really do it as much anymore, but he's another techwear YouTuber. And he's another, me and him have engaged a lot. He follows me on Instagram as well. Amazing person. Like, at least based off what I know about him, just such a nice guy, like really nice guy, and was like always willing to help me, you know, in my journey with techwear. And then Fly with Johnny Ty, who is another like kind of like techwear YouTuber, but he also does a lot of like high
I watch him
stuff.
Sometimes.
He doesn't. He's another one. He follows me too. Like, these guys are they're really, really cool guys. Like, they could easily just be like, I don't give a shit about these people, you know what I mean? But they're not. They engage with their audience, and they're just really cool. So yeah, so Flower Johnny Time, Seth Fowler, Corbin Coffee, this is Antoine, and man, who else? Man, I'm trying to think here. And Bullet RC for sure. I still watch him.
I like his videos. Like, I know he kind of stopped for a little while, but he popped back up.
Yeah,
the community had to force him to come back.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, that's because we all missed him, man.
That's a good feeling, though. That's a good feeling, I think, as a creator.
No, for sure. I would love to be loved that much. But yeah, man, no, he's just really funny. Again, his style, not like mine, but I really like his content. I like how he does things. And listen, man, at the end of the day, too, when I see other Black creatives doing as well as he is and doing it with integrity, I gotta respect that, man, and I gotta support that. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like that's another thing for me too. So yeah, man. So those are probably my 5. Those are the people I watch. Like, if they're dropping a video, I usually will drop everything and watch them. You know what I mean? So what about you? Same question.
So for me, Sanjeev is always going to be number one for me.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Sanjeev is like my favorite fashion creator. His style is not the same as mine, but I would pick some of the pieces that he picks. But I like his personality. He
has his own clothing line.
Yeah, he does have his own clothing line now too. I've never tried to engage. None of these people I talk about have I ever tried to engage with. In fact, this is one of the few times I ever really actually try to engage with a creator. Most of the time I watch their videos and I don't really follow them on Instagram or anything like that, but I do follow him. And the reason why I mentioned him, what made me think about him and why I would say he's number one above everybody else, is because he hadn't really been posting videos, and I actually missed him. Like, I actually missed his content. I'm like, dude, you need to post a new video, bro. Like, I kept checking his page to see if I missed something. So I'm like, yeah, you're my number one guy. I fuck with you hard. I would say Kyron Warwick. He's really dope.
I'm not familiar with him.
He's from Canada. He's from US, but he lives in Canada. He lives in Montreal. So he's kind of in that same clique. You ever heard of this guy named Greg Nort or something like that? He's a Black guy too. He's kind of really tall, wears a lot of like the wide leg break pants. He pops up in my shorts a lot.
Oh yeah,
but I have also watched his videos.
I follow him on Instagram. So he's a YouTuber.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. He's got like the beard, the little kind of like, he's
amazing.
clearly like Afro, you know what I'm saying? Like his parents are, African or whatever.
His fits are amazing. I actually shared one of his posts.
He's actually got a good build for the clothes. He's like one of those guys that's built for the clothes. Like, he's so not
jealous of that.
He's not in my top, but I like his content. I was mentioning him because Chiron, they kind of all run in the same circles, and the same. Chiron is dope. You should check him out too. You probably like him. I think we're closer to the same style, clothing wise and like even creator wise. I think our styles match up, a little bit closer. Even though like our videos are not the same, our tastes are not the exact same or whatever. But we're probably closer fitting. But yeah, I actually, when I look at my analytics, his audience does kind of overlap with my audience. People who watch my videos watch his too. He's been around for a while, for like about as long as like Sanjeev and all those guys have been around. But he didn't pop up on my radar until a couple of years ago, and he's been consistent. He continues to do it. So I like him. 3 is somebody who I hate watch, but I have to put him in the pantheon. And I'm saying, I'm giving you props, so you can't be mad at me for saying that I hate watch you. Because like I for some reason don't like you, and I don't know why I don't like you, but I watch your videos all of the time. You know what I'm saying? And your content's good. Locust and Wild Honey. He's one of the Jerry boys. He's still a Jerry boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him either.
I hate watch his content. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. I had to come to terms with the fact that I hate watch it, but I always watch it. Whenever his videos pop up in my feed, I think I'm even subscried. His content.
You just admitted that.
Yeah, his content is good. His content is good. You know what I mean? I just don't. Yeah. I don't like him. I don't have a reason to like him, and I think that's fine. A reason that I don't like him, and I think that's perfect. Fine. I can be a hater in this particular, whatever you want to call me, but I do watch your videos. I don't comment on them, but I do watch your videos. You know what I'm saying? And I acknowledge you as, on my Mount Rushmore. So shout out to you, Paul. Because there are guys that I don't like that, like, I've watched their content before, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not continually, but I've watched more than one video. And like, if I really wanted to trash somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be like, yo, this fucking guy, man, you know what I mean? But like, I don't feel that way about him. It's just like, man, I don't like you for some reason, but I watch your videos anyway. So, you on the Mount Rushmore. I've been watching his videos for a long time, since he was running with Neems. I don't know what happened to Neems, but you know what I'm saying? Since you were running with that guy, I was watching your videos. Yeah. So if you ever run across this, know that I've been watching your videos for a long time, and you can kind of say that I'm a hating ass fan. All right? I'm a hating ass fan.
I'm just going to save face as much as possible in case you come across this shit.
But I mean, I feel like even in saying that I hate watching videos, I've also been complimentary of the guy. So I'm okay with this take. I'm okay with this take hitting the airwaves. You know what I'm saying? For another guy that I used to like, this dude, he stopped making videos a long time ago. He started making clothes, actually. His name was Avery. Avery. I think his channel was called Geared Towards Gear.
Dude, I don't know any of these people so far.
So these are kind of
that Greg guy.
So these are kind of like some of the OG guys in the streetwear, Chelsea, Kanye, Jerry, like all of that was happening at the same time, when everybody's wearing Chelsea boots with the skinny jeans and the long line tees, and like
I was that part of that.
These guys came out of that family, and they kind of expanded their knowledge of like designer clothes and dabbling in designer clothes, and just became like, these guys are some of the biggest players in fashion YouTube. Like as big as you may think, like some of these other guys who are active right now, like these guys are like, these guys were getting 50, 60, 100, you know what I'm saying, K, 300K. Chiron still pulls crazy numbers on his videos. I've watched his videos like multiple times, you know what I'm saying? Because his videos are, and it's just him like, yo, I just picked this up, you know what I'm saying? And this is why he just has really good insight on like the stuff, and the stuff fits him good, and he finds good pieces, you know what I'm saying? He gets good pieces. But these are some of the biggest guys, and they really came out of that, what I feel like was like the earlier era of like fashion YouTube, because I think that really kicked off in like in the men's, I think this is a very specific lane that we all run in, no matter what tribe it is. And it's like specifically like men's streetwear, high street fashion. Yeah. Because there's a whole nother side of like men's fashion YouTube that's just all about menswear and like normie shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I get served some of that normie shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Yeah.
somebody like Drew Joyner, for example, like straddles that line of like high streetwear and like normie shit. You know what I'm saying? Like those like denim nerd guys, and like those are like more on like that normie to like menswear, you know what I'm saying, that alpha male fashion or whatever that guy is, like alpha M, like all of those are like more like normie to like menswear, dandy, like that line, that way.
I can't stand Alpha M. that guy annoys the living shit out of me. Like, I remember I think I tripped over one of his videos, like, I don't know, like it was crazy. Like what I remember, I know what you're talking about, because he was part of that whole, like you said, the Chelsea boots, skinny jean, long line thing.
Right.
You know, he was part of that whole era too. And
right, and bomber jacket. But he just went more like, I make content for normies, you know what I'm saying? And like to tell normies how to like dabble in this fashion world. But like these guys are not entrenched in like that streetwear, high street designer clothes. Like they're buying shit from Abercrombie and like showing you like not necessarily alternatives, but just stuff that's on trend, that's like super affordable for them. And I don't feel like that's necessarily the lane that we're kind of operating in, even if we do deal with affordable clothes at times. Like there's a more kind of design driven look that we're all going for. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes total sense.
Instead of being trend driven, it's like more design, like, you know, like I'm into this because like the design on this Heron Preston hoodie has the DKNY logo rip on it with the drop shoulder, and it's got that really heavyweight cotton to it, and it's got the crop cut. So it's, you can't go to Forever 21 and buy this. You have to go to Heron Preston or higher to get it, you know?
No, totally. So you have one more left, right?
Yeah, I have one more. So my last is gonna be, and I thought about this a lot earlier. Some of these people I threw on, I wasn't even thinking about them, but I thought about this question earlier. So my last one is gonna be Bliss Foster, and it would have been the Fashion Roadman, because you don't know these. So these are guys.
Fashion Roadman, I know.
Right. So you should, if you know him, you should know Bliss Foster, right? They do a very similar thing. They talk about fashion history, like stuff like that. For me, Bliss Foster is just a little bit more interesting, and I want to give it to the Fashion Roadman because he's black. You know what I'm saying? My brother across the pond. But Bliss just appeals to me a little bit more. I like the way Bliss delivers a white dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he just delivers it in a way. And there's another white guy who does a similar thing and is really good. Fashion Lover 4. He's really good too. I like his videos as well.
Check him out. Yeah, man. Like it's so funny because like I'm so entrenched in the techwear world, and because I'm just starting to dabble into the Rick Owens stuff. Like I haven't discovered a lot of these people yet. In fact, I just real quick, and I wanted to say this before I forgot. I have 2 runner-ups for my list.
Okay.
Only because you did mention Sanjeev, and this particular guy is I think they're friends, and he's a big fan of Sanjeev, and it's a guy named Frugal Aesthetic.
Oh, Frugal! I was gonna put him on my list. That's my dude. He's another one. He's another one who he's one of the OGs. Him and Chiron actually their careers run very parallel because they started a little after Sanjeev and like Magnus and Avery and what was the other dude's name? Jacob Keller, I think his name is. No, Jacob Starr is good too. I like him. But Jacob Keller, I think his name. His Always Fresh Apparel was the name of his channel or whatever. These guys were like the big dude. Fernando dropped off like way early, but Fernando's the one who does Silver League, the little vintage store. Yes, all of them are connected because they all kind of started around the same time, and then like Chiron and Frugal, and they started a little bit after them, so that they're like kind of their contemporaries, but like a little further off from them. Paul also started around with those guys, with the kind of the OGs. Those are the guys I consider like the OG of like high street. Bringing it back around to what I was saying because I got lost. Those are the guys who I consider to be the OGs of all of this shit. Like they're like the branches that all of this shit that we do came from. Like those guys.
It's kind of, only in the world of the internet do you have 2 40-something-year-old dudes talking about how we're looking up to like 20-somethings in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Frugal Aesthetic, like for me, is one of those. Just like him and that Corbin guy I mentioned, and Fly with Johnny Ty. Like I just feel like those three of those guys are like, even though they're young, they just have a different brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
they're not just snot-nosed kids. Like these guys
Right.
have like a vision and they execute that vision extremely well, probably better than a lot of people in their age group, I would imagine. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's what's been really interesting about these guys. It was a combination of hitting on YouTube at the right time in your niche, found a niche that was
Mm-hmm.
like underserved, created
Yep.
the standard for how that niche is kind of talked about and handled. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
kept innovating that niche to the point where a lot of these guys have their own clothing labels. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yep.
making product themselves. They don't make YouTube any, videos anymore. They moved on to
Mm-hmm.
either bigger kind of platforms and opportunities, or they're,
Yeah.
making something else. I mean, it's insane how right around 10 years now for a lot of them, or maybe like 12, 13
Mm-hmm.
years for some of them, they've turned like a YouTube channel that's not even, most of them are not even at 1 million. A lot of them are not even at 500,000, but they've turned YouTube into something lucrative for them
Yep.
and still make passive income off of their videos too.